am making this video in the knowledge that I'm about to open up a can of worms. It's that collab channel, vlog every day in April. So, cultural appropriation is a word I learned a few weeks ago, and I've kind of been struggling with it ever since, because I'm normally like, woo, we're all residents of Panacea, let's all sharing our cultures and teach each other about each other. We'll be able to take bits of each other's cultures and understand them and become more alike and blur the edges, and therefore racism will be gone. Cultural appropriation kind of means taking little bits and bobs out of other people's cultures and putting them into your own culture, appropriating them, if you will, and that has been interpreted by some people as racist. Anyway, look it up if you're interested. I've been doing a lot of reading about it, like a lot. I've read so many responses to it. I've made up my mind on various topics related to it, and I'm aware that I have an unpopular opinion, and if you're just gonna get angry at me, well then do it in the comments. There are lots of things that constitute a culture, like things that make a country what it is, and if that was the case, then it would be racist for non-British people to wear the Union flag. And by the way, it's not called the Union Jack. I know a lot of people call it that, but it's only called that at sea, just fact of the day. It would just be a crying shame if people couldn't read books because they didn't know the language, and if people couldn't appreciate music because they weren't part of the original culture. And then where do subcultures get off? I mean, you've got the Lolita movement from Japan, which is now kind of been appropriated all around the world. Lolita takes a lot of inspiration from Victorian fashion. Queen Victoria being a British queen, so who knows what's being appropriated. The individual is constantly bombarded with influences from all over the world and from every single continent and from every single period of time, and you can be influenced by just about anything, despite whether it's originally from your own culture or not. There are so many things that are beautiful that people are going to want to take on and enjoy, and I'm going to get on to the things on my face in a minute. By taking on or enjoying or owning something that you think is beautiful that was once part of someone else's faith or culture, I don't think that that is necessarily an issue, as long as you're respecting it and upholding it as a thing of beauty and a thing of enjoyment, rather than, you know, drawing moustaches on Jesus or whatever. Which brings me on to the problem I think is in hand. I don't think that cultural appropriation is the problem. I think that religious appropriation is a problem, because people are precious about their religions, and people do hold certain things about their religions and certain things about the iconography of their religions particularly dearly. For instance, the cross is really in fashion at the moment. There's this really big fashion at the moment for like tie-dye t-shirts with big black crosses or Petrine crosses on them, and another fun fact of the day, the Petrine cross, or the inverted cross, is what St. Peter got crucified on. The inverted cross has now, for no apparent reason, become associated with the Antichrist. And I'm unsure whether it's actually used by people who have that as a religion, or whether it's just kind of colloquially become known as that. I know that some Christians do get offended by non-Christians wearing crosses and crucifixes, but I think that's getting rarer and rarer, because it is becoming a more secular society that we live in, and I think that we have to accept the fact that some of our imagery is actually, whilst to us it might mean something, to other people it's just two cross lines, and I think that's something that we have to respect as much as they should respect the fact that some people might worship it. The bone of contention on Tumblr, which is the bindi tag. Now, bindis have kind of seen a revival in fashion, like they were in the late 90s with Gwen Stefani wearing them, and I have been sticking stuff to my face for years and years and years and years. And if you go through our videos on this channel, I'm sure you'll see me with like face gems attached to here and to here and to here and to here. I've always avoided sticking face gems or any sort of gem in the area between the eyelids, because I'm aware that that is the place where bindis are normally attached, and I was unaware of really the religious significance of bindis within the Indian culture. And so I've done some research. The first thing that Wikipedia says, and I know that Wikipedia isn't always the best gauge, the first thing that Wikipedia says is even within Indian culture, bindis have become a fashion item. It also says that it's quite common for women who are Islamic to wear them as a part of their makeup. Their kind of significance is in yoga and in life, I think. People, correct me if I'm wrong, try and focus their energy or their intelligence or their intellect into the place where the third eye would be, so like the mind's eye, I guess. And the problem I have is that when I go on Tumblr, there is a lot of hate going towards white girls for wearing the bindi, not just people who aren't of a religion or a culture. It's not just non-Indians. I find it a problem because those people who are saying that are basing belief on who should and who shouldn't wear a bindi, not on their beliefs, not on their values, not on their culture. So it's not about cultural appropriation, but on their skin colour. Now, you can't tell anything about a person from their skin colour. I can't control my genetics. You can't control your genetics. That's how we were born. And all we can do is hope that we can change the way that things are already and make our descendants and ourselves better people and more open-minded people. And as I say, I've been doing lots of research. I saw this girl, and I'll link her in the description, who was saying that people have been calling her racist because she was white and she had dreadlocks. And her reasoning for having dreadlocks is because she didn't want the waste that comes with hair products. It wasn't a fashion choice. And I saw all these comments saying, white people created nothing, white people don't deserve anything, and goddamn white oppressors trying to justify themselves again. So why is she a white oppressor? She's just a girl. We are responsible for our ancestors' choices. We can only make better choices. Bindis symbolise a similar thing as is thought of in yoga. Is doing yoga racist? Is doing yoga cultural appropriation? We do yoga at my college. They do yoga at all the local churches. That started the thought process because I'm going to a party as Gwen Stefani next week, and I felt uncomfortable putting one in the centre of my forehead. After extensive research, I have decided that I am going to, and that someone can give me a reason not to wear my bindi in the middle of my forehead, I will do so. And if someone can give me a reason not to wear my bindis as I've been wearing them recently, I'd be very interested to hear that, and I will probably take heed of it. This is one of the instances where actually your input is really important, and actually you could really change my mind on this. However, if you tell me I'm a white oppressor, I'm not gonna heed that. I'm not an ignorant white chick. I'm not trying to besmirch your culture. I just want to appreciate the beauty of these awesome bindis that stay on so long in comparison to the rubbish like face gems that I've bought online before. These are so intricate and so lovely, and I want to keep wearing them. And thank you, Kieran, for your video yesterday, and I look forward to your video tomorrow. And I'm sorry that this has been so deep and soul searchy, etc, etc. I'll see you tomorrow. For you, Glen Coco, you go, Glen Coco.